Happy Tuesday morning, you guys. It's been a long time. I just thought I'd come on and give a life update. I'm having some coffee. I gotta go work from home in a few minutes, and I, for 5 seconds, have the house to myself. I never have the house to myself, so I just want to come on and say hi and drink coffee with you. I wanted to kind of give a viewpoint of where I'm at right now and maybe why I haven't been posting very much on this channel. I tried to make this video a couple times and it came off as a bit like depressing. And I mean, basically it's a video about how currently we just don't have any money and are just trying to stay afloat. And it's like, it is what it is, right? But sometimes this video channel is a place for me to come and express things that are on my mind that I don't necessarily have the freedom to express in regular life. And so I'm posting it here just in case anybody can relate. And I think there's probably a lot of people who've been in this kind of situation. I'll try and make the backstory quick. About a year and a half ago, my husband, who had been doing the same career, professional career for 25 years, just the whole industry just kind of dried up. So he was 54 years old, and all of a sudden he'd been doing a lot of contract jobs. He was a contractor, self-employed contractor, and then all of a sudden the contracts were non-existent. And we'd been through dry spells before, like we always have money put away, but we hit the point where all of a sudden, instead of 6 months, it was 8 months, and then it was a year, and then it was longer than a year. And after it was longer than a year, we started to face the fact that his industry might not come back. And the issue is that we had been brainstorming and doing all the right things, and he had been going to a local organization that helped people, kind of recover and find new careers and all of these things, and doing the skills-based resume and trying to think about upgrading and blah, 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 blah. But the bottom line is that ageism is a real thing. When you are applying for jobs where the people who are hiring you are 20 years younger than you, they're not comfortable ordering a 54-year-old man around. They are distrustful of your level of comfort with technology, and he was just finding barriers everywhere he went. So he also didn't have a lot of transferable skills in terms of just general skills, because he had been so specialized for so long that the general skills he had were extremely outdated, to be fair. So he had to lean back on what he did when in our 20s, when we first were married, which was basically like warehouse and driving work. It's hard when you're 54 and you have a bad back. This is the kind of work that he's had to take on now is lifting and carrying things. And I live in fear of him hurting himself all the time, because that will be just an end for him in terms of being able to contribute to the family at all. And I think emotionally it's really important for him to contribute to the family. And financially, I think the interesting thing about being in this situation is relating to other people about it and explaining it to them, because you have to be very careful about explaining it. Sometimes if you explain it and you say, like, he hasn't been working in over a year, there's a lot of like pity, and people see you as being in an emergency. And I found that people were wanting to like lend me money or give me like really emergency advice, and that was not a place that we were in. Like, I'm not going to the food bank, but I don't actually make enough money to cover our monthly expenses, and I have a union job. We're in a really high cost of living area, but we live very simply and very basically. But having your income cut by basically 60%, we're just trying to hang on to this house My dishwasher's broken, I can't fix it. The truck broke, I can't fix it. I am buying way less food than I would like to be buying. We've at some points had to just cut out buying like fresh produce whatsoever. I do not eat out ever. We did it once for a special occasion because we had like 2-for-1 coupons. So I now have about the amount of money that I had when I was like a poor student in university. And, you know, what's really important is that you have your health. What's really important is that you have friends around you. I'm surviving. You know, I'm not going to the food bank. We are hanging on very hard to our retirement funds, and we are very, very focused on continuing to pay our mortgage because those two things are our only security. And I feel very happy that we have had those things in place, but we've burned through in a year and a half any kind of emergency fund. So yeah, right now my husband is working casual jobs. That is the one job that they seem to be okay with giving the old guys the gray hairs, right? They give them the casual jobs. So he's working about between 4 and 5 different casual jobs. So he's getting calls every morning to go to different workplaces. He's got like a bunch of different uniforms that he has to put on for these different places. And he lifts and he moves things. He's picking up some work in various other creative industries. And all of those things are like 1 or 2, 3 shifts a month. So that's how we're cobbling things together. I think the hardest thing about having this little amount of money is just sitting in a room, hearing people talk about living normal life, and I have to just sit there quietly and not participate because they're talking about the place that they went for dinner, or the vacation that they're going to take to Mexico, or the new thing that they just bought. I have not been able to give gifts in the way that I would like to. My workplace right now put a thing out for people to bring food for the local food bank and toiletries and stuff. And I cannot participate in that because I am this close to being in that situation. And I'm having to mask a lot around people, because if I say that out loud to people, then it's greeted with a little bit of like lack of understanding. And people also try to fix it for you, and you can't fix it for me. You know, you can make all the suggestions you want in the world, but we've already been there. We've already done that. The fact is I'm just fucking poor. But I'm not really poor. It's actually really insulting to use that word because I have a roof over my head. Look what a beautiful roof. That almost every cent of my money goes to keeping afloat. You know, the lights are on above me. I have heat. I have a dog we can afford to feed, sort of. Although I'm waiting for him to go so that I can save money. But, sorry, that's really dark. I just, you know, my daughter's birthday is coming up, and normally I would spoil her, and I am trying to come up with $100 to give her a gift, and I don't know where that money's coming from. I have no idea. The other thing I feel really strongly about, and it makes me kind of angry, is the level to which people just use debt as a solution. I gotta tell you, there's no money coming in the future. I can't rack up a credit card right now. Like, why don't people understand that that's just not a solution when you have no money? You have to live within your means, even if your means suck. If I had a medical emergency or something, or like a funeral to pay for, I don't know, then I would use debt. But there's no money coming in the future for me to pay that down. And I'm one of the 5% of people who seems to understand that you shouldn't borrow money if you can't pay it back. You know, I know people are just doing what they need to do in the moment, but it's just, I'm not interested in losing my home because I've leveraged it to the end of time to try and keep up some sort of appearance with other people, you know. But people my age in their 50s, if you tell them I can't afford to go out for coffee just don't know what to do with that. They just don't know. And so I don't. I just mask because it just makes other people so uncomfortable. Um, and it's getting a little exhausting, actually. But the problem is if I stop masking, then everybody just pities me. I had to ask my friends to stop offering to pay for me because even though I was really appreciative, it was starting to make me feel like I was lesser than. And I don't want to feel lesser than anybody else. I just want my husband to be given the opportunity to make enough money to support himself. And he's working really, really hard at something that is taking a lot out of him. And I'm very glad that I married somebody who has that kind of second gear and self-reliance, because yeah, I don't make enough money to support a family of 4. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, I thought you had this really good job," because I have a union job. And it's like, it's not what it used to be anymore in this economy. Like, the amount of money I actually take home, if you take groceries and dog food and dental care and any kind of like toilet paper and cleaning supplies and anything off, I can, and like any kind of technological services, I can pay for our mortgage and keeping the lights on with my wonderful union job. So I know this is probably coming off as seriously whiny. I don't know if I'm going to post it even. I just wanted you guys to understand why I'm not on here talking about candles and tea right now. Life is hard for a lot of people, a lot harder than what I'm experiencing. You know, I have what I need, just barely, but I have a fraction of what I thought I would have at this point in my life, considering of how hard we work to build everything up. And we struggle every day not to become bitter. And yeah, I wanted to take my kids to the, fall festival little train thing that they have here, where, just one of those fall family fun things for Halloween. But I couldn't because it was going to cost us $100 for the 4 of us. By the time you buy some hot chocolate and stuff, I can't do that stuff. I can barely buy vegetables. Yeah. Life's full of ups and downs. This is not a hard problem compared to what some people are going through. Some people are having their homes bombed. Some people are having their children bombed or shot at. It's a hard world right now, and I think that's one of the reasons it's hard for me to put anything out there. Is I just think that the world is going through a tunnel. There'll be another side to it. There will. And hopefully to our life too. Maybe some opportunity will come up. But we have enough. My heat's on, my lights are on. I got coffee. As long as I have coffee, I can survive. Thanks for listening, you guys. Bye.